UK?
Yeah, for like 2 weeks, and then October 1st, I'm moving to Madrid.
So why not just straight off from Toronto to Madrid?
Because I already have the apartment starting October 1st. So that's a move.
Cool.
How about you? Ready to go?
Hello, everybody, and welcome to Target Quest Live. Happy Monday. He never takes a break. I don't think he's had a vacation in 3 years. So this was
No,
a
come
very
on, Sam.
well-deserved vacation. I was just talking to him offline before we jumped on here and asking him what his favorite food was. Alfonso, would you like to share with the class what stood out to you?
I mean, first of all, thanks for your kind words. I really appreciate it. And yeah, I mean, Italy was fantastic. I went to Tuscany, Florence, Cinque Terre, and I really liked a small town called Forte dei Marmi. Highly recommended. Not too many tourists there, only Italians. It's a nice small town right at the beach, so I highly recommend that place. So keep that in mind the next time you go to Tuscany. And food related, I mean everything everything for me was really good. I really enjoyed the food.
You picked one favorite, though, before we jumped on, Alfonso.
I
Let the
mean,
people know.
the lasagna I ate
The lasagna.
the last day was just incredible. Was just incredible. So I will,
Do you know
yeah.
about Garfield, Alfonso?
What?
Garfield, the cartoon,
Yeah,
the
but
cat who eats lasagna.
yeah, but I will. Yeah, I'm not a fan of that cartoon.
Okay. Yeah, so for everyone who's not familiar with Portfolio Accelerator, we're actually about to meet next week. So there will be no Chart Request Live next week as we are gathering in Toronto next week. So yeah, if you are not familiar with Portfolio Accelerator, it's a really wonderful program that we put on at Stock Market Media. And you can learn more if you go to our website, and under Premium Services, there's a drop-down menu where you can see Portfolio Accelerator and learn more. And if you're interested, you can apply to join us at our next event, which, if I'm not mistaken, is going to be in Park City, Utah next year. We're going to take a little ski trip. So that's exciting. But Alfonso, we're here to talk markets, baby. So let's get to it. For all of you who noticed my yellow shirt, I'm wearing my gold bug shirt today, Alfonso, because man, these precious metals are ripping. Look at this long-term gold futures chart screaming higher above this 261.8 extension level. Man, I think we're going to see $4,000 gold before long. And look at this chart too, Alfonso, this GDX SPY ratio. I was looking at this one over the weekend, and I wrote a little note about it for All Star Charts Gold Rush members, but man, does this look good. Climbing out of this massive bearish to bullish reversal pattern. And, if you look at a lot of these precious metal stocks, you could kind of make the argument that the momentum is short term, overheated, too hot, it's been too much, too fast, but man, when you look at this chart, Alfonso, I have to think to myself that this is just the beginning of a new period of outperformance for these precious metal stocks. And then if you zoom out on the GDX itself in absolute terms, I mean, we're just now getting back to those 2011 highs. We're above it right now, so 67 is that line in the sand, the breakout level.
Bro, what a good chart.
Yeah,
The GDX, we're back to all-time highs. That's impressive. I mean, we're right there. And you can see a similar picture with the junior gold miners. So, even the most, riskiest mining stocks are breaking out, are participating higher, which is, bodes well for this bull run in precious metals and gold. So I really like that.
totally. Yeah, I have to think this one's heading back towards that 2011 peak, just like everything else. Gold started this whole thing off about a year and a half ago on March 4th of 2024. Now we're seeing the big boys finally catch up, exceeding that 2011 peak. And I think it's just a matter of time before the juniors get the job done too. So there continues to be a massive catch-up trade here. This is more than a double away from that 2011 peak. So plenty of upside remaining.
And how about silver? I mean, because if we're talking about gold, how about silver?
I like to look at the long-term silver. If you look at a quarterly chart, Alfonso, which I know is kind of aggressive, but
it is aggressive.
But for this instance, I think it makes sense. This is like a multi-decade base that we're talking about here. This goes back to 1980. So quarterly candlesticks in this instance, I think, are appropriate. And, it's on pace to close at the highest level in history. So the previous all-time high quarterly close was on the beginning of January of 2011. Closed at 37.58, and silver is at 41 and a quarter right now. So yeah, it could fall a few points from here and still be at a new all-time high. And if we zoom into the monthly chart, $50 really is that level. So $9 of upside until you get back to that 2011 peak. But just like I mentioned before, gold broke out on March 4th of 2024. Now the GDX is breaking out. I think the GDXJ is following suit. It would make a lot of sense for silver to also exceed that 2011 peak.
No, that's right. I mean, look at the junior silver miners. That's a really nice base as well.
Yeah.
Trying to break out. It's been parabolic in the past couple of weeks. And yeah, I mean, you definitely want to see silver. I mean, we're finally seeing silver participating higher, and this might be this is the move for silver. So good to see.
Totally, I'm here for it. So yeah, if anybody has any precious metal stocks that they want us to look at, shoot them in the YouTube chat and we'll get to them later. But I know we have several tickers to get to from the mailbag. And for all of you that aren't familiar, we have a mailbag here at Chart Request Live. If you send us an email at questions@stockmarketmedia.com, we can put your ticker in the mailbag so we cover it first thing during the show. And Alfonso, what do we have first?
Yeah, let's take a look at let's stick with metals. Ben is asking us if we are still constructive on SBSW.
Yeah, am I constructive on SBSW? Hell yeah is the answer. This chart's awesome. So, I mean, there's a lot of ways to look at this. I think you could drop the WAP from this April 2021 high. I'm pretty sure we were looking at this on last week's episode of Chart Request Live, so I won't spend too much time on it, but you can lean against this VWAP anchor to the all-time high to define your risk. The bulls should maintain that level, and if the price happens to fall below it, there's something wrong with the stock. So I don't want to own SBSW below that level, but I'm looking to add to strength above this 38.2 retracement, which is like 9 1/4 or 9 3/4, I should say, or you could round up and call it $10, somewhere around that range. But from there, I think 14 is the next target, and then this shelf former highs from 2021 and
Yeah,
early
they're around
2022.
20.
Yeah,
Mhm.
that's really the target here, Alfonso. So I think this one could double, more than double from here. So I love this chart.
No, it's a great chart, and I think it's really simple. Use the VWAP, anchored to the 2021 highs. We're above that VWAP from the pivot highs. I think buyers are in control, so the passive little resistance in this name is higher.
Totally. And this is like the best vehicle, the best equity vehicle for exposure to platinum and palladium. So those large institutions who aren't trading futures in platinum and palladium, they're going to crowd into this stock. I can smell it, Alfonso. There's a bubble coming in the Siboney Stillwater. So I'm here for it. I'm looking for the next big bubble.
Yeah, bubbles are great if you're in.
Totally. I
Okay.
love who brought this one along. They need a shout out because I love this chart.
Ben.
Good eye, Ben.
How about if we take a look at, okay, Andy wants to take a look at, 4 stocks. So you have to pick one: TMQ, RIO, UNTC, or SCCO.
All right, TMQ was the first one. So Trilogy Metals.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, all right. Andy, I see you. What was the next one, Alfonso?
RIO, Rio.
Rio. Yeah, this one's not going to be as exciting. So big. This one looks really constructive, coiling up here really tightly, but this is one of the big boys in the space. This is $108 billion in market cap. That's a mega cap in this space. That's like that's like an Nvidia for the metals space.
Yeah, for me in Rio, for me the picture is really simple. I will use the VWAP from the 2021 highs. If we're below that level, I just leave it alone. But if we can reclaim that 66 level around that VWAP, yeah, I mean I think something good could be happening in Rio.
Totally, yeah. That's pretty close to the 38.2 retracement here, but yeah, this one's just pretty messy. I don't know. Like, yeah, I want to see more from this one. What were the other two, Alfonso?
UNTC. Or SCCO.
Okay. So Unit Corp. This is okay.
No, no. Let's take a look at SCCO.
Let's do it. Okay, so this is this Peruvian?
No.
It's Peruvian.
Is it?
Yeah,
no,
like they say it's from Arizona, but I think it's really more of a Peruvian stock. They have operations in Peru, Mexico.
Well, yeah, that could make sense. I mean, I think it's probably the largest holding in the Peru ETF, which is interesting.
That is, yeah. I think BVN is another big Peruvian miner, which gives you copper and gold exposure. This one is more of a copper play. I think they have several things going on, but it's primarily dominated by the price of copper.
Yeah, they have operations in Peru, so yeah, makes sense.
And again, Alfonso, this one's just kind of messy, like it looks constructive. Like there's pretty clearly some accumulation going on here. You have this, I can draw it out for you. You have this one base right here, and then you have another little handle carving out right here. But yeah, it's just short-term messy.
Yeah, it's short-term messy, but if you zoom out to, let me say, to the 2007, and if you draw a clean fib from that crash from the 2007 and 2008, we are right there below the 261 extension, right below 104. And I think, if you want to start building a position, I will just wait for a break at about 104, 105. Right now, we're above that big from the all-time highs, which is something good for the long side. But yeah, I would like to see a decisive breakout above 104 or 105.
Totally, yeah. That's a good level that you pointed out there, Alfonso.
I,
That's super
I
clean.
think using that level, I think you can define risk. So
Totally, yeah. And you saw the market respected the 168 extension level here. You know, you failed in early 2021, retested it in 2022, failed miserably, then retested the breakout here in late 2022. And then it was a ripper straight back towards the 261.8. So the market's clearly acknowledging these levels. So yeah, I think a close above that 103, 104 level is going to be a big one.
yeah,
Just to look at the long-term outperformance, this one, you know, short-term messy, but in the context of a huge ripper off that 2011 low. So this one rallied about 400% relative to its peers in about 4 years, early last decade. So, you know, it's just been sideways for about a decade since then. So I think there's another leg of outperformance coming eventually for the Southern Copper. But
I think it's
again, I
setting
need
up
to see it.
very nicely.
This is pretty clean, isn't it, Alfonso?
It is very clean. Yeah, a breakout there, and I will want to keep some exposure in SSCO.
Totally. Yeah.
You want to
Let's go back to that first one. I think that was an interesting chart.
TMQ.
TNQ. TM.
TMQ.
Let's see. Trilogy metals. Okay.
Yeah.
It's pretty small, so we probably shouldn't talk about it too much. But this is a $300 million metal stock, and it looks like they are in the copper, zinc, lead, gold, silver business. Okay. This is interesting. This has been on my watch list for Gold Rush for quite some time. I've been watching these highs from 2019 and 2021. You know, below that, it's likely messy. Like it's probably heading back towards that level, which is around 3. So like that's decent upside. You know, that's more than $1. It's like 50% upside from here. But you know, I don't really want to be involved in something that's in a range like this. I want to buy the breakout above here, which I think will happen within the next 12 months or so.
Yeah, and probably if we get that breakout of 3 and that former high that you're mentioning from 2021, 2019, you know, it will get some institutional some institutional money in. You know, the stock will grow up a lot, and that will be probably the ultimate confirmation for that monster base and for this stock to set a really new leg higher, in my opinion.
Totally, yeah. It's constructive, but I need to see more before I get involved. And you know, if you're wanting to jump the entry, I think this is a clear level right here, the 61.8 retracement level, which lines up perfectly with that big psychological round number of $2. And you've seen in March of 2025, it got rejected there. Same story in July.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe the third time's the charm, Alfonso. I don't know. There's a little trade here. $2 to $3, 50%.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's not bad, but I will. I mean, me personally, will wait for that 3 level to be cleared and wait for a decisive breakout from that monster base. I like to keep things, you know, very simple. So in this case, for me, is the
I've learned that the hard way, Alfonso.
Exactly, that's true.
Shout out to Andy for bringing the commodity stocks to the show. I love it. I want more, Alfonso. More commodities.
It was great. I mean, and precious metals, you know, they are rocking higher, so it's the right place to be.
Totally. It's like the best industry group by a mile. I was looking at the returns since gold broke out on March 4th of 2024. think the SILJ is up like 160%. For all you gamers at home, you can go check my math. But it's close to that. I mean, it's been totally off the charts, Alfonso. Crazy returns. And that's just from an ETF perspective. You know, you can look at the individual stocks and man, these gains are
it's interesting, the sentiment around, you know, gold, precious metals. You know, we're not seeing that euphoria yet. I mean, I believe, you know, some people are still on silent.
You look at the GDX, Alfonso, the short interest is still at the highest level since 2018. I think it's carving out some type of top there in the short interest. So you can see that a big squeeze is coming, but man, I mean,
for me,
guys looking at?
For me, you know, gold broke out from that monster base. I think March of last year. I know you know the exact date, Sam.
March 4th, 2024. I'll never forget it.
Exactly. And you know, this uptrend in gold and precious metal, it's like being, you know, climbing the wall of worry for most traders here. So it's interesting, and I love it. To be honest, I love it because more in the future.
Totally. And I think, Alfonso, we'll just finish on this note. I know we've been talking about precious metals for a long time, but man, if you think this rally is extended and it needs to stop, people are making too much money in precious metals. I mean, go back and study the previous cycles. This is just one example here, but from 2001 to 2011, gold futures rallied about 650%. And you can see during the Great Financial Crisis, there was a pretty big drying up of liquidity. So, you know, gold got hit with everything else. Mm-hmm. But man, other than that, it was pretty much up only for that entire decade. I mean, this can last so much longer than people think. This just started a year and a half ago.
Mm-hmm. No, I completely agree. And yeah, and if you look at a zooming chart, at a weekly chart or daily chart, you will see, you know, these consolidations, you know, right there, you know, those triangle patterns, those coils resolving higher, and you know, it's as beautiful as it gets.
Totally, I'm here for it. All in on precious metals, baby. Let's go.
Oh, it's beautiful, beautiful.
All right, Alfonso, what else do we have? Maybe some junky tech stocks. You know, we haven't talked about that yet today. Some space stocks.
Well, look, I mean, Hansen wants to take a look at MUX,
which is keeping it on the precious metals.
Exactly.
All right, Hansen.
Another precious metals.
Let's do
700 million market cap. What are your thoughts on this one?
This one's from Toronto, Canada. So kind of unusual. You see most of these Canadian stocks are from Vancouver, not Toronto. So McEwen is doing something special, something a little different. And, you know, let's just, look at the long-term chart for some perspective. Mm-hmm. You know, over the long term, this is a total mess. Looks like a big fat headache relative to GDX. This one is not an outperformer. So it's not outperforming the big boys. So it's, you know, take it for what it is, Alfonso. This is one of the junkiest, one of the worst precious metal stocks out there. But you still have this beautiful base right here. Mm-hmm. I think you can lean against this pivot high from 2024.
Beautiful, yeah, and drop the VWAP from the 26 in highs. We're right there. We're trying to reclaim that level right now. But I completely agree with you with that pivot highs from May of 2024 around 1250. You know, that also coincides with a recent gap earlier this month. Mm-hmm. And you know, I think the ultimate confirmation for this setup will be, you know, if we reclaim that VWAP from the 26 in highs.
Totally, yeah. And you have a few Fibonacci retracement levels here that you can look at as potential targets. That 38.2 seems really clean to me. You can see that's where buyers stepped in. Initially, this was support, then it was flipped into resistance later. I think there's certainly going to be some bag holders waiting here at $20 on the MUX. Yep. But, again, this is the type of environment where you want to buy the shittiest, underperforming gold mining stock. And that's exactly what this McEwen is. Like, this one's been a total disaster for a very long time. But in bull markets, these stocks have epic catch-up trades. And that's what you're seeing play out right here, right now. Like, since the March low of this year, MUX is up over 100%. So there's some serious momentum behind this name as it retests that key anchored VWAP that you mentioned, Alfonso. And I also love that gap and go move. Like, that's exactly what you see before the best uptrend starts. So
no, that's right. So it's,
and it was not on an earnings event, Alfonso, just to point that out. I don't know what happened, but I don't know. It would be pretty cool if this gap and go happened on no news. I certainly doubt that's the case, but
it will be great. But again, I mean, the risk level is very well defined at 1250. I think if we're above that 1250 and stay above that level, the path of the resistance is higher. And what you mentioned, I think this could be a nice catch-up trade.
Totally. All right, what else do we have?
Matt, NXE. I'm looking long-term for buy and hold.
Okay. Keeping it with the commodities, a little bit different, but this is a $4.5 billion nuclear. Is this okay? It's not I don't think it's a utility. It's more of a exploration and production stock in the nuclear space. From Vancouver, Canada. We're looking at a lot of Canadian stocks today.
Yeah, this is an Iranian stock, 4.5 billion market cap.
So it's like the junior CCJ.
Yeah, right?
That's what I think of it, yeah. And look at these fib extensions, Alfonso. This is super clean right here. You can see how much the market has respected these fib extensions. So we broke out here in early 2021, found resistance at that 161.8 extension level, just churned there sideways for several years and then broke out again. Sellers showed up exactly at that 261.8 extension. And here we are. I think this one's ready to go. Let's zoom in on that little base here. So those long-term fibs, let's see. Let's get a target before I zoom in. So 12 3/4, I think, is the target. Call it $13. And I think we could use a daily chart. Let's just straighten this one up. Yeah, here it is, Alfonso. Let's use a daily chart, or a daily line chart, I should say. So strength above, let's call it 8 3/4. You could round that up to 9. It's kind of a big range there, but I think that is where I'd look to buy this one on strength with a target of $13. I think this one still needs some time probably to shape up here, but man, does this look constructive. I think we have one big base right here. Here's the head of a potential head and shoulders. Maybe we come up to here, consolidate for a few months, carve out a little right shoulder. I don't know, could just rip right through it for all I know, but
yeah, no, I mean,
it's really nice.
It's a nice pattern. It's been carving out a nice base there. But again, if you want, confirmation or more conviction in this name, a break it above 9, let's call it 9, round number. I think that would be the big level. But again, nice base. There is a clean fib extension right there. So, everything coincides around 9, 850 to define risk, and just wait for this is a break on this name. I mean,
Oh,
the entire space has been working really, really nice. And if you look at the ETF URA, it's coiling. It has been coiling for the past 6 weeks. It just completed a classic rounding bottom formation. Basically this year has been parabolic, especially of the April lows. So it's carving out right now a nice coil above that breakout level from that reversal base. And now the passive resistance for these stocks is finally higher. And if you look at Cameco, breaking out of that monster base,
this is
and
the
again,
Exxon Mobil of the space.
yeah,
Biggest, most
exactly.
important uranium exploration and production stock.
Yeah, no, it's beautiful. Look at that. I mean, even yeah, it's looking very good. It's coiling in the short term, coiling very nicely. If you zoom in that weekly chart, you will see that beautiful coil. I think a break at about I don't know 78. I mean, we're right there. 80, call it 80 in CCJ. Could spark a new leg higher, and if the leader it's breaking out, imagine what can the rest of the space can do. So I really like this one as well.
Totally, Alfonso. Yeah, looks like this one's carving out a nice little not a top pattern.
Yeah, not a top pattern, flag pattern, whatever. It's a nice consolidation within a clean ongoing option right here. So I think a break at about 81, 80, that could be your signal for the entire space. I think this one could act as a leading indicator for the rest of the name. So keep a look at this one as well.
Totally, yeah. I'm a buyer on weakness towards 70.
Yeah,
Like that a
yeah,
lot.
yeah. You have two levels there. You can play with it in multiple ways.
Totally, yeah. And this one has a very liquid options market, unlike much of the nuclear space. So
Hmm.
that's what I would look to do. Sell naked puts. Probably not. Just kidding. What else do we have, Alfonso? Are we gonna
Let's
stay
take
on the commodities theme?
No, 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 no.
Okay.
Jonathan is saving us right now. He wants our opinion in PGY, a long
Ooh,
term outlook.
yeah,
Looks like
one of my favorite charts here.
yeah,
No doubt about it. I mean, look at this base, Alfonso. I think you could call this a bit of a Kardashian bottom. I don't know. It's messy. It's not perfectly symmetrical, but that's kind of the idea here is you have one big butt cheek right here and then another over here that took about twice as long. And now you're getting that decisive upside resolution. And this one has insane short interest. Let's pull it up on my other screen here. It looks like, yeah, 26% short interest, 3 days to cover. And Alfonso, we love the volume pocket setup. And that's exactly what you have here. So this one, let's see, went public. Let's zoom out, go back in time. So this one went public via SPAC, it looks like, in 2022. Got absolutely crushed. Then it ripped higher. Not sure what was going on here, but after that post SPAC dump, you got a nice little pump of 1,300%. And then it just fell straight back down, Alfonso. There was not a lot of transactions up here. Look at this massive gap. It fell 67% in a single session. This one got obliterated. But you can see this neckline of the base breakout that we're now working on coincides with that post SPAC dump. So there's a lot of market memory here around 30 bucks.
It's beautiful.
It's really beautiful, right? I mean, this one could very easily climb back towards this 365 level, which is like
Yeah, I mean,
1,000% of upside. Like that
when
sounds ridiculous, but like that's the kind of chart pattern we're looking at here, Alfonso.
when I look at this chart and your explanation, the volume pocket there, that massive gap and the potential of PGY to fill that gap. This
With the short
polarity,
interest. Like you have so many things working together.
yeah, I mean the upside potential in this name, it's huge. It's huge, and it's right there. It is right there. I mean the level to define risk and your line in the sand in the sand is around 32, and we're right there at 30, 36. We're barely coiling at this breakout level, this key polarity level, and and we're talking about the monster rounding bottom formation here, double bottom pattern, whatever you want to call it,
The
and
Kardashian bottom.
at the Kardashian bottom, exactly. So we just saw this nasty drawdown. This company, this stock was destructive here, and it's been carving out slowly. A gradual change in the trend, and right now we're finally back above this. The upper bound of this pattern. So as long as we're above 33, at least for me, I think the passive lift resistance is higher and the upside potential is huge in this name. I really like this one.
Totally, Alfonso. And look at the company description here. Not once, but twice do they mention AI. So you gotta love that. This one's
But
got
look,
AI in its name.
the look again, and the short interest 26%.
Yeah.
It has the perfect recipe for a squeeze higher to fill that gap at least, and after that we will see what happens. But I think this gap will be filled. I think that's a good target at around 83. This one could double from here. So I really like this name. That was a really nice pick from Jonathan. So
Shout out, Jonathan. Maybe the chart of the day. We talked a lot of commodities there at the beginning, which I love, but this one really checks every single box.
Yeah,
Two AI mentions in the company description, tons of short interest, huge volume pocket, and the Kardashian bottom. I mean, what more can a guy ask for? Shout out to Jonathan. This is a great chart.
Oh, that's true, Sam.
Bill in the chat says that DNA is the same setup as PGY.
Yeah, let's take a look.
Not quite, but you do have a Kardashian bottom there.
Yeah, it's not ready yet. I mean, I will wait for a confirmation around above 1650 probably. Until that, it's messy. Look at that primary downtrend in that name. So for me, a good confirmation of a valid trend reversal in DNA is even when we break out about 1650, let's call it 17, to have more conviction. So that's the way I look at DNA.
Yeah, messy. But I see what you're seeing, Bill. A lot of potential there. What's next, Alfonso? More AI stocks?
Yeah, let's take a look at some of the one in the chat. Let's take a look at Brad was asking us about HIPO.
The Hippo.
The Hippo, yep. Ooh.
Let's see. What in the world is the Hippo? Of course, it's property and casualty insurance. Almost $1 billion in market cap. This one's coming from San Jose, California. Man, beautiful setup here. This looks really nice. Is there short interest here? I almost guarantee the short interest is off the charts. Let me look right now. It's wow, nothing there. Okay.
Nothing there. Only 5% there. It's
might as well be zero. Man, look at this base. This is wow. This is giving PGY a run for its money for chart of the day. Jonathan, you've got competition, my friend. This looks really nice.
This
Man,
one could be
just now
red.
getting that breakout candle today with a man, 11% upside move. This is about as decisive of an upside resolution as you can get, assuming the price can close above that level, near where it is right now. Not
Yeah,
give it all back before the
we're
close, but
breaking out right now.
woo-hoo, this looks nice, Alfonso.
No, Sam. Yeah, exactly. Yes.
Wow, and it just keeps getting better.
Yeah.
You drop the WAP. Let's fib it out. Let's see if there's a good target here for us. Yeah, of course, the 38.2 lines up perfectly with this little corrective wave. I think that is where the bag holders are going to show up, right here around 140. I mean, that's a long ways away from the current price. So, I mean, it's like, what, a triple from here. So maybe you want to be a bit more conservative. You could just fib out this base and use these extension levels. I mean, that could make more sense, but structurally, like, I think this one is just now entering a brand new primary uptrend.
Bro,
Where
this
it's
chart
gonna
looks
climb
so
up the right-hand side of a base back towards that 2021 high around 300. So like,
Bro, this chart looks so good. I mean, it's less than $1 billion market cap, and if these small caps are going to assume some leadership role in the next couple of days and weeks, keep an eye on this one, on the Hippo. I really like this one.
and
We're right
JC
here.
talks about the animals and the name all the time, Alfonso. Like,
I know.
this checks that box too. The
They
hippopotamus.
tend to squeeze higher, very, very in a nice way. So yeah, keep that in mind. This Hippo, it's breaking out right now above our risk level around 36. I like it, and I like it even more because of the VWAP from the IPO.
Totally. And it's a fresh reversal. You're getting that breakout candlestick right here, right now, today. Super actionable here in the hippopotamus. So, yeah, this is my chart of the day so far from Brad in the chat. Huge shout out to Brad. Let's see if anybody can beat this one. What else do we have, Alfonso?
I have to agree with you. Let's take a look at the last one from today. We have to wrap in the next few minutes. But let's take a look. You decide, Sam. Alexander wants DOCS, DOCS.
Yeah.
Someone in the chat is mentioning the coupon. I'm a big fan of the coupon. It's like up like 8%, 9%. Beautiful chart. The coupon.
Yeah, this is beautiful.
Always is a good, worth mentioning the coupon and look at the chart. Mr. Serby, CR and X. So you pick.
I'm leaning towards, it's definitely the CPNG. So this is $57 billion in market cap. Is this the South Korean Amazon, if I'm not mistaken? They say it's from Seattle, Washington, but that's false. It's the Korean Amazon. So, I mean, let's look at the, is it EWY? Am I thinking of that right? Yeah, EWY. So that's the South Korea ETF. I mean, look at this ripper off the low from earlier this year into a straight sideways consolidation. I mean, you got, let's see, 50% of upside in just a few months in South Korea. One of the best performing countries, if not the best performing country off that April low. So I don't know what they're doing in Korea that's working, but they're doing something right, and I love it. And I think this coupon stands to benefit from that. And look at this, Alfonso, just on the short-term chart. Super tight volatility compression here. And you're just now breaking out of that today. I mean, it's kind of hard to draw anything on that, but you see this. I mean, it just coiled here for a month, and now it's exploding higher. And
It
what
was
day? Best
it
day
was
since
it was
this
beautiful.
May 7th candlestick. So, I mean, look at
Mhm.
what that brought. It brought, let's see, about 20% more upside. So, big moves like this are not bearish at all. And when you zoom out on the chart, I think this is just the beginning of a much bigger move in the coupon. This, let's call it $32 level. It's very important. This is a key level of polarity. So you can see this one was support back here in May 2021. And then it turned into resistance in late 2021 and 2022. We found resistance again there this summer. And now it looks like you're ready to take that level out. And I mean, for me, I'm targeting this IPO high, which is
Yeah, yeah. Welcome.
69. Shout out to
Mhm.
69.
Yeah, I mean, definitely.
And it
Um,
lines up perfectly with that 38.2 retracement. Man, this chart is clean, Alfonso. Wow.
Nice.
Okay,
It's
so
beautiful.
yeah, 32 gets you to 46. 46 gets you to 69. I mean, it doesn't need to be more complicated than that. And it has Korea at its back. I mean, that's quite the tailwind.
No, and the thing is also, all these Amazons of, different countries, they're working really, really well. Look at Baba right now, yeah, breaking out of a similar base. That's a classic random bottom formation. Reclaim it, the bigger from the all-time highs. The upside potential in this name is huge. I think 320 is next for Baba over the long run, and I really like it. I really like it. So all that theme, not only the United States, but outside of the United States, it's been working.
Totally, yeah. Do you think the Amazon of the US is up next? Because that looks really nice too.
It's
You do a lot of work with the hot corner, Alfonso. I keep hearing that Jeff Bezos keeps dumping his
it's
shares right as this one tries to break out. Is that the case?
I mean,
I know you
I
don't
don't.
really track the insider
Yeah,
sells
the
much.
sales. Yeah, I mean, there are multiple reasons insider sells their shares. But
For a
only,
divorce.
yeah, for a divorce, for paying a new wedding. I don't know. In this case, that may be the case. So I don't pay attention to the sales, but I do pay attention to the insider buys, because there's only one reason these executives or hedge funds buy the stock, and it's because they believe that it's going higher. So that's why.
Totally, Alfonso. All right, so we've looked at a lot of good charts today. This was an amazing session of Chart Request Live. So I just want to give a shout out to everybody who showed up for today's show. Thank you for making this such a wonderful experience for me, just very selfishly, getting so many ideas from all of you, especially the ones that came in the mailbag. Man, really nice precious metal setups there. And the AI setup with the PGY, Alfonso, is this the chart of the day? Or are we
I mean,
looking at
it
Hippo?
is. I mean, I don't want to be unfair with the precious metals charts, to be
It's
honest.
true. I know. I have a hard time not picking precious metals.
But for me, I mean, the PGY has a lot of short interest, so that may be my chart of the day. Even though that I really really like how the EPO looks like.
Yeah,
So
I'll go with the Hippo then, Alfonso. The
okay,
other
okay,
side.
okay,
Man,
yeah. It's
look at
it's
this.
no. I mean, it's really nice. It's really nice. Can't complain.
Totally. All right, everybody. If we did not get to your ticker today, you can email us questions at stockmarketmedia.com and we will put your ticker in the mailbag for the next episode of Chart Request Live, which will not be next Monday, as Alfonso and I will be with the rest of the team in Toronto for our Portfolio Accelerator event. But the Monday after that, I will be coming to you live from Athens Greece for another episode of Chart Request Live. So we will see
Nice.
you all then, and 2 weeks from today, for another great episode of Chart Request Live. Alfonso, happy to have you back after your vacation. I hope you feel refreshed after that, ready to get back to the grind. But
No, thank you very much. Thank you very much. And it was really fun. And again, doing this show every Monday, you find some, very good stocks. The Hippo,
the hippopotamus, man.
all these precious metals today. It was, it's interesting how we started with all these precious metals, and it's really nice. It's really nice for us. So thank you everybody for sending this your request.
That's right. That's all we have for today, folks. I hope you have a good week, a profitable week, and cheers to a great September. We'll see you later. Adios.
Thank you, everybody.